Morning all, back down Ironbridge. It's been about a week I think since we put the Cintec anchors into this building. This is the same corner, and yesterday we built this. So we now have the Cintec anchors running down this wall about there, and I think there's one about there, and then there's one running down there. And this wall, probably about 4 foot, actually comes out another brick and a half by the look of it. And what we're looking to do is just put some stainless steel restraint system on the inside. We had a design from the engineer who, made us a drawing of what kind of steel we're going to need to use, what thickness. He worked all the calcs out on that and give us a sketch to say we need something in here. This is what we come up with. What we've had to do is make this wooden template because, I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera, that is not square. The end section is, but this one tapers down because this wall's bowing out that way. So this side's coming down at an angle, and then this one on the left hand side is twisted off that way, and that is also not square. And what we wanted to do, you can see we've put some pencil marks on it to show where the holes are going, because we've got this lovely header course just above that embedded steel. It'll make a nice place to bolt to. And same on this side, header course continues. And what we've done is we've lined the holes up with the bricks there and there. This is a little bit high at the minute, and same on the corner post as well. Now we've really gone to town with bracing all this together because I don't want to lose the angles on it, because that's going to really help us when we get back to the yard for fabbing all the steel up, so we can just take the angles off this template. We'll get this back to the yard and throw some steel together. Back in the workshop, here's a little beauty. It is a couple of weeks later, and I have been putting this off because I know this is just going to be a nightmare to build. We've just been working on it for the last couple of hours before we finished today, trying to get the basics of it right. Just because there's so many different angles on this, it's super difficult to get right. So that's 95.8, 92.2 is 94.4. So what that does is it kicks this frame out, and then it also kicks this back frame out in 2 different angles. It's just not the easiest thing to put together, and as well trying to figure out how we're going to integrate the 2 pieces. This is what we've done so far. So you can see we've got the square 90-degree angles there, and then this one's offset, so that's going to be the right hand side. And we're looking at this junction here on how we can join these 2 pieces together. The frame, to build it all as one, would be too heavy to get in and a bit too difficult. I think we can make it easier, and we're going to make this horizontal, the bottom horizontal, and this vertical, weld that together as one, and then we're going to make some 100 by 200 mil stainless plates and plate it on each side so that it will join, and we'll put a plate on the top, a plate on the side, so it'll have 2 plates on each side, and we'll put this vertical member, this cross member in, and that'll be bolted to the plates as well. And then these 2 braces that we need to put in will also be bolted on as well, so we can fit them on site, and we'll fit and drill them on site. Bit of an head scratcher, but we kind of, in the last 3 hours, worked out the best way of doing it. Little lad's stopping to do this tomorrow. I'm off out again, so he is going to do a bit of recording, and we'll see what we end up with. I've just gone through it with him, talked him through how it all needs to go together and everything, but I just say give it a go, see what happens. I mean, we've got plenty of stainless. If we messes it up, we can soon do it again and make it work, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, we'll see what he gets tomorrow, and I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see how he gets on.
That's 2 out of 3 cut, but sadly we'll just have to go get another piece of steel. We've run out, so I'll go grab some more. Could we just have it on the chop saw? Yeah. So we've just marked our last piece of steel. We'll get that cut, and then yeah, we can start getting all the angles together. We have got a frame, which I think Phil did show you yesterday. So I'll get the angles off that, and I think I'll put a bit of a piece of timber in just to hold them to that angle. I'll clamp it all together. I'll show you after. So let's get this cut. Alright, so we've got that square cut out now, and basically the next step is I've got to grind what I've just cut here down so it's just as flat as the plate below it. So one of my pet peeves about steelwork is when people don't grind these edges down and they're just really sharp, and it'll take you 5 minutes and it'll just stop someone from cutting their arm open, basically. So I'll grind all them off while I'm at it. So I'm just on my final angle check now, and then I'll weld it up fully. So I've just put this clamp here just to bring this brace piece in line with this piece here. So, because I don't want to weld it this higher, because then I'll have to grind it all down. I'll just leave this end tacked on just until I see Phil. I'm not too sure about it. It might foul. So we've made the decision, we're just going to trim a bit off this brace, just allow this plate to sit in there nice and easily, because we're going to have to put this on together on site, so we'll want it to be quite easily put together.
We are now back down at Ironbridge. Going to fit the steel. Got the steel that we've just fabbed up in the workshop on site. We still haven't drilled the fixing points in it yet. That's going to happen today. We are actually going to start with this one because this is the biggest but the easiest to put on. Not normally a Milwaukee fan, but this thing, wow, love it. We used it at Morecambe video here. But oh, what a bit of kit. I do like it. This bit we're using is tungsten carbide. We've got a pre-drill there that centres it, and then we've got a hole cutter here, and you can see the serrated tungsten carbide teeth on it. That's the only thing that's going to get through this stainless. Yeah, because I have to bolt these now onto here, these two plates, and then we can offer the other one up, mark the other one, drill the other one, bolt them two together, and then put the plates on the top. Then we'll be able to drill both of them, won't we? Yeah. I need to lift. I'm just wondering, is it worth putting that bolt in first, then we can tighten them up, and that'll lift it up anyway, won't it?
that ball to do it a second.
So is that spanner, a little adjustable.
Little one.
Well, I think we're going to have to take it down. And I'm just thinking we might be as well taking it down and then just pointing all this lot up. All these bricks are fairly loose around here. After drilling them holes, notice that some of the bricks are a little bit loose. Only one or two of them right in the corner. We've decided to take it back off and point up the brickwork behind the steel frame. This will just stop any movement and consolidate it. We are going to use, controversially, a little bit of cement in the mix because one, we've only got NHL 3.5 here, and we want it to just bind together and have some compressive strength in it as well, just because it is going to be a structural area. But we're not asking it to be breathable or anything, just in this little corner. On these big joints that we've got that you can get your fingers down, what we want to do is put some mortar in there and then back it out with some tile as well, just so that it doesn't shrink too much. If we just fill that with mortar, just with lime mortar, I know we have put a little bit of cement in it, but it is only a little bit, this will just crack and drop out. There's too much body of mortar there. So what we'll do is we'll just pack this mortar in all the way to the back of the joint. And then just keep pressing it in as it's filling it up. So we get some nice compaction. And we'll get it up onto the top of that brick as well. Make sure it's packed in well down there. And then when we get nearly full, we'll get a dowel piece and we'll wedge that in. And what we're going to do is just going to bury this just below the surface. But there's enough in there now just to reinforce that joint and stop it shrinking when it dries. And then we'll do the same on these joints here. We might just put a new brick in there. But all we're trying to do is just point these joints up so that we've got some body of mortar in there and some rigidity back in the structure. Wait, hang on. Is that on a piece of tile under it?
Yeah.
I'm alright. Yeah? Hang on, we need to go behind the top one.
Yeah.
Another tube. Yep. Wow, this I thought literally would be here for maybe 3-4 hours today, get it all fitted, Sweet. No, we're now rocking on 5 o'clock. Still haven't done it. So it's going to be another day to come back and do it again. Not happy. It is what it is though. It's just been a bit more fiddly than we first thought, but it is a fairly, not complicated, but it's just all them different angles and getting all the brackets in and everything like that. It's an hard job. That's why I'm doing it. We've got all this side bolted up. There's two bolts left to put in here, but this side's up. Plate, we need to make that top plate, put some packers on that because they are different heights. Bottom plates are in, and we've just got to, we've put one bolt in up there just to hold it in place, but we've got these to drill and put in. And then, like you've just seen, we've got 2 cross members, one at the top and also one at the bottom to put in, which we've made one now, but we need to make this bottom one. Busy for rest at week, so not coming back down rest at week. It'll be another week and then we'll finish it. Didn't manage to get back and film the rest of this. A couple of weeks later now, we're just on a completion meeting on site, so I just thought I'd pick it up. Little lad come back day after, finished it all off, got all the braces in and that. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't get it, but that's it. So we've done, welded on these side braces from what you'd seen last time, got it all painted up, and we've just made some stainless steel shims for the bolts at the back of there where that wall kicks out. We're still like an inch out, but looks good. So that's the inside. We'll go and have a look at the outside. Now we've got the scaff down on where we put the Cintecs in. We had loads of comments on why we didn't rebuild it, but you can see now. The corner without the scaffolding on. So I just wanted to show this. Loads of comments saying, should have rebuilt it, should have rebuilt it, blah, blah, blah. But I think now, looking at actually the building, you can see rebuilding it would have been a bigger issue than putting the Cintecs in. The Cintecs, what, were a day to put the Cintecs in? 2 days? No, yeah, 2 days to put the Cintecs in. I don't know if you can see just how far that wall is out, how far it deviates up there, but it is probably maybe a foot and a half. It skews up like that. You can see the Cintec plates on there, and we've filled up, all this corner's been rebuilt now. We've taken the iron packers out. In the last video I said we were going to leave them in, but we've actually taken them out, and we've just stacked some slates up in there just to show that there was some iron fixings there. It just shows that there's something different and it's not original. So generally on restoration and conservation jobs, something that's been removed, we'll put tiles or slates in just to show that it's not a brick. But now that corner's been rebuilt, brickwork's been sorted out up there. They do kind of sit out the way, they don't really stand out too far. And if we were going to rebuild it, you see, we would have to have taken basically all this corner down to this level. This is where the tree was, or where I think there was a tree in there, all the brickwork was open there. So we'd have to have taken all this corner down, which I think you're probably talking a week and a half to sort all that out, where 2 days to put the Cintecs in. We've re-line pointed all this section now. All this bottom section has been line pointed up, and we've actually put some heli bars running down this side as well, because you can just see there where it kicks out again. That top arch was rebuilt. Anyway, that's a bit done here. We'll just nip across the canal now. I'll just do a video from there, and you can just see the setting, what this building and the layout of the chimneys and everything else around here. That's it, all done. So that's where the corner that we've done. And this kind of just gives you an idea of the surroundings and where we're at. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.